Hello, today at Finextra at Sibos, I'm speaking to Thibaud de Maintenant of Deutsche Bank, and we're going to have a discussion about your session tomorrow at Sibos, which is called ETC and Trade Matching, Nice to Have to Necessity. And I kind of wanted to use that title to move into my first question. You know, why is trade matching so important? Why is it now a necessity?
So I think trade matching is a link between the execution and the custody or the safekeeping. So these two things, one is running at kind of a nanosecond. If you look at execution, it has been going faster and faster. I mean, it's really a question of, as I said, millisecond, a lot of trades. So a lot of investment went into that part. And then to reach the custody side, you need a bit of time. You need 2-3 days, depending on the market, because when you execute, you have to settle after. And I think that's where comes ETC. It's this link between the two. And I would say in the past, what happened is that, since you've done the execution, nobody really mattered about the cost, nobody really mattered about is it going to fail. That was, execution that done, job done. And if you had a problem, you throw a few bodies at it. The reason why now is starting to move from nice to have to a more mandatory thing is because there's a lot of pressure now at the custody side and at the settlement side. So where in the past you could wait for 2-3 days to settle things, now if you're late you will get penalties or you will be considered as short selling. So suddenly the link between execution and the custody is much more important, to the extent that you see some people that are asking, okay, if there is stricter rule by the regulation at that level, why don't we put as well stricter rule of regulation at this level? And it's very rare to see an industry asking for more regulation, especially those times. It just shows to you the power of what's going on right now in terms of, if you really link the two, then you probably need as well to have, the threat confirmation happening on the same day of the execution. What happens often is you execute, you wait 1 day, you try to do the allocation, doesn't work, you do manually, and then you have a late settlement and a fails penalty. So that's the reason why you have a lot of pressure coming that way. And I would say as well, just a question of cost. I mean, you've been hearing that many times, I guess. We're all looking for cost reduction. I think in the past, if you were bringing 10 of revenue and you had 8 of cost, that would have been okay. Now nobody can accept that anymore. They would rather save 8 of cost and not having the 10 revenue. So you can't throw any more bodies at it. So there is a big need of automation, and that's where the technology is coming in, because you need as well light touch technology. Nobody has the investment for high infrastructure. So it's interesting to see how new technology, our web portal can help us to really bridge that gap between the execution and the custodian.
So there are, of course, a lot of regional approaches to these post-trade issues, but I wanted to take advantage of the fact that we're in Asia. So what are some of those issues that are specific to the Asia-Pac region?
So I think on the Asia market, it varies from market to market. I mean, you have, two categories. You have what we call the end beneficiary market, which really, when you trade, you don't need to make too much allocation, because when you hit the stock exchange, you're already forced to say for whom you are trading to. So here the trade confirmation flow very naturally, because you have much more information at the beginning of the trade. And then you have the other markets, which are more like the global way of doing, and you fall exactly in the same category. And that's why what you see in Asia is a lot of push on the middleware. So this middle piece for electronic confirmation, where some people, when they're not ready to do that by themselves, or they don't find the right technology, try as well to outsource. So that's why you see, between execution and custody, people moving on and say, okay, I can offer custody to you. Why don't I offer as well this piece, so that we don't have this failed trade. You have a good report about how it's going, how long it's taking, and I will take care for you post execution of all the rest in terms of the trade confirmation, making sure that everything's settled on time. So you see as well this trend in Asia around the outsourcing trend, and people looking for that. I mean, and to the extent that you have as well sometimes, almost a front to back, where someone can offer execution for you. As soon as you send the execution, they will themselves send the settlement for you as well. So you have a full STP and a full, from execution back to custody. It doesn't work for everybody. It's a very specific model, but you can get as well front to back, and it's developing a lot in Asia as well.
So what do you hope will come out of the session tomorrow? Do you think this is going to start a discussion on post-trade? What are some of your goals?
No, I think there is first a sense of awareness. I think a lot of people are aware. I think the good news is in this panel we have a buy side, a broker, custodian, so you have the three parties together. And what I want to get out of it is concrete example of what has been done in the different firms, and whether people in the audience can learn from it. Because I think given the regulatory pressure, given the cost pressure, there is an urgent need for everybody to find good ideas. And I think a lot of ideas are emerging, and I think that this sharing of good idea or good best cases that have or practical cases that have been done, which will be interesting.